Big hits, WBTC and the B-Team Morning Show, and it's time for the 8:30 High Beam. With me today, I have Pete Peremba. He's the Executive Director of the Age of Steam Roundhouse Museum in Sugar Creek, and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Robert. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to thank you and Natalie and the whole B-Team Morning Show group to thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Unfortunately, I'm the stand-in. You don't have the real B. Well, you do. My last name's Bray, so I guess I am part of a B team anyway. So you've been executive director up there now for most a year, coming up in June. How's it been for this last year?
It's been a terrific experience. I'm not from a museum background. I'm from the railroad background, but certainly a good friend of Jerry and Lori Jacobson all these years, and a pleasure to be part of the organization.
Tell us a bit about the history of the museum.
The museum didn't actually start out as a museum. It was Jerry's private collection. He had worked a number of years in the railroad industry and around steam locomotives, grew up around steam locomotives, and thought it would be great to preserve them for all of posterity and for future generations to learn and know about the age of steam. And it was his private collection for a number of years that he put together, built the Roundhouse after selling the railroads, and then after Jerry passed, the foundation was established. It's actually the Jerry and Laura Jacobson Foundation Incorporated, doing business as Age of Steam Roundhouse Museum, which is a more popular name.
And that's a nonprofit organization, correct?
Yes, we are a nonprofit organization.
Tell us a little bit about the size and what's in that roundhouse up there.
The Roundhouse has a collection of more than 20 steam locomotives, some of them operational. There's one that has a fire in its belly right now. They lit it up this morning, the number 12. It's a test fire. We'll be using it several times during this upcoming season. And it went through its inspections, and this is the first fire up for the year. It's run a number of times, and it's very reliable. But some of our locomotives are in pretty sorry shape, but they were preserved for historic reasons that Jerry had wanted a particular locomotive or particular style of locomotive.
Now, you say you're not really a museum guy, but you are a railroad guy. Tell us a little bit about your history with the railroads.
I've been a railroader since I was about 4 years old. Rode with my grandfather the first time on his train up in Cleveland, and then grew up wanting to work on the railroad, and found out about Jerry Jacobson starting up a short line railroad back in the mid '80s, and even out of high school, I started railroading with him, volunteering, and then as a paid employee starting the first day of 1986. And was on and off with Jerry and other railroads in the Northeast Ohio, and then even went down to Virginia and railroaded for several years. But I came back here, located in Tuscarawas County, because of the Roundhouse and wanting to be part of that in my retirement. That came a little bit early, my involvement, but we'll take it when it comes.
Now, you offer tours and things like that. Now, it's not year-round. Isn't there a time or a date limit to when you offer tours there?
That's correct. We expanded the season this past couple of years. Start April 1st. We opened April 1st with the, you might remember we had snow squalls blowing sideways, but quite a good number of people come out that day. And ever since, last year we had a very good attendance also. Of course, with the pandemic, it was a little bit strange. We had to limit the number of folks that were visiting, but really have only started in 2019, and then of course 2020 took a hit. So we're very young in the tour business, but there were tours given back when Jerry had it as his private collection also, and very experienced people giving tours.
Now, during this time that it's been developing over the years, the tours that you offer, do you have to call in to get them, or how do we get a hold of you?
Usually signing up through the website and our ticketing site, the link that takes you over there, is the best way to sign up. Then you know you've got a guaranteed spot. We take walk-ins as well. during the pandemic, we started with the online ticketing, and it's really been a handy tool for people to know that they have a spot. We know how many people are coming. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday during the tour season, April 1st, and then we close down. Our last weekend is the weekend before Thanksgiving.
Now, what is that website that people can go to get those tickets and learn a little bit about it? Because I was on, I don't have the link in front of me. However, I got on there, and there's a lot of good information on there. It tells all about it.
There's a lot of good information on our website. It is ageofsteamroundhouse.org. Really, any kind of a search for Age of Steam, you're going to find us.
I got Pete Peremba, the executive director of the Age of Steam Roundhouse Museum, and we kind of joked about it because I have to keep looking down to make sure I don't mess that up. Age of Steam Roundhouse. I can see switching words and things like that around. But it is the Age of Steam Roundhouse Museum. It's up in Sugar Creek. If somebody wants to give you a call, how do they get a hold of you?
Our phone number is 330-852-4676. And there's a little tree to follow along depending on what you want information on.
How long does the tour last?
The standard public tours are an hour and a half. We go around the Roundhouse into the back shop where the restoration work is being done, and that's actually done 5 days a week. We're in there with our shop crew, working on locomotives, freight cars, passenger cars. And then we have several other tours. If that one gets your interest up, we can have a ferroequinologist tour.
Oh.
And that's on Saturdays once a month. It's a 3-hour tour.
That's what they told Gilligan, and I don't want to get stuck in a roundhouse for 3 years.
Well, some people really want to do that.
There you go.
We had a fellow came and took a couple of tours, and then he found out we have volunteer opportunities, which are still wide open. So he came in Monday to volunteer. That was back in January, or no, that was back in the fall. He's been there ever since.
Oh, wow. Pete Peremba, for the executive director of the Age of Steam Roundhouse Museum, I want to thank you for coming in today. And I encourage everyone to go out, take a look at this place, get tickets. And you want to add a couple more things to what you're doing up there? That is fine.
Yeah, we've got several special events as well as the tours. Steam to Victory comes up in September, the 9th and 10th this year. We have Iron and Ales in October. Lantern tours also come up in October. There are school, homeschool tours and learning stations that we can set up. That's an option for school tours. Family tours come up during the summer. And this year, about every 2 or 3 years, we host the Boy Scouts for their Railroading Merit Badge. And, of course, regular tours aren't offered those certain days. But we do have a lot of special events. We have our Blue Flag tour coming up May 19th, and then a photographer special on May 20th. We have a rotating display that every year we put a new display along with our gift shop. This year it's the Four Aces locomotive that was a test locomotive for the local Timken company. So we have a lot of Timken artifacts. The McKinley Museum allowed us to borrow some of their displays for that. And we have a former Timken executive that offered a lot for that. So there's great history there, local history and railroad history combined.
What a great place to go, and you're right in Tuscarawas County. So, Pete Peremba, thanks for coming into the 8:30 High Beam this morning. You are the executive director of the Age of Steam Roundhouse Museum. I encourage everybody to go up and stop by. Thanks, Pete.
Thank you, Robert.